afternoon. Welcome to this edition of the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show. My name is Leon Jones. Today is Monday, October 17th, 2016. Tune in to the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show every Saturday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. That's on Blog Talk Radio. We had a fantastic show. We talked about entrepreneurship and how it benefits the free market economy. I want you to tune in to this week's show as well as we talk about networking. And that is also very important when it comes to business and meeting clients, customers, and other partnerships, relationships in the business world. If you want that information, got to call in. Guess call in numbers 215-383-5785. Now, if you miss any of my Blog Talk Radio shows, I've made it very simple. Click on the link under my videos. You can get to the archived Blog Talk Radio shows via my Facebook page or my Twitter page. I made it accessibly easy for you all to get this fantastic content that I produce every day to educate you. There you go. Sometimes free is good. Also, I want to share this with you. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, we don't engage in emotion, controversial, or debatable topics, nor do we participate in any drama and or unnecessary bickering. It's deconstructive. It's too much energy. So we like to keep it positive because this channel is about education, business, news. It's to give you the information that you will not get in the mainstream media or in academia, college campus. So, if you have a topic or business that you would like for me to put on the air on Blog Talk Radio or YouTube, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. Please feel free to comment, but make your comments pithy. No bloviating. If you wish to opine. Now, on to this afternoon's topic. I'm going to talk about credit scores. So what is the maximum credit score? And why do you want a maximum credit score? Why do you want a good credit score, period? Well, you want a good credit score because that enables you to get items with low interest when it comes to buying a house, buying a car, a boat, or any type of item that you can't utilize cash with. Now, before I go on, there are 3 credit companies: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Now, there's another one that's lurking around called Innovis. Innovis looks like it's one that deals a lot more with database management or storing data. I have to get more information on that one, but we're going to basically deal with the first 3 because all of your FICO scores are with the first 3 credit bureaus. Now, why do you want to achieve the maximum? You may not get the maximum, but you want to achieve the maximum. Well, let's say if you're a bowler. I know when I go bowling, not great at it, but I'm thinking I can get a 300 game. Now, what's a 300 game in bowling? The maximum is when you roll strikes in all 10 frames. When you take the SAT, it's either 2100 or 2400. It used to be 1600. You may not get the maximum, but that's a good mark to shoot for. But you want to come within that maximum. With credit, it's no exception. Now, basically, credit or FICO scores start from 300 and the max is 850. 300 to 850. Now, what is a credit score? Well, your credit score is a number that measures your credit worthiness. It is based on the information on your credit report, which includes a record of your credit card and loan history. So the maximum score you can achieve depends on the credit scoring model that's being used. Now, there are various models that are utilized for your credit score. Now, one we're already familiar with. One type is called the FICO score. The maximum FICO score is 850, where the minimum, just as I mentioned, is 300. Now, there are other credit scores from the credit bureau and other third parties. Now, if you purchase one of these scores, the score provider will give you a scale of that score. The scores often mimic the FICO score with a maximum score of 850. Having a maximum credit score is extremely rare. Only 25% of people with credit have a FICO score higher than 785. And even a smaller percentage of people have the maximum FICO score. Now, how important is a maximum credit score? Well, the benefit of having great credit is to get low interest rates on credit cards and loans, and it makes it easier to have your application for any type of financing approved. You can do this without having the maximum credit score. Now, strive for a FICO score of about 720. I like to say 750. Scores above 720 are considered excellent and will almost allow you to reap the benefits of a high score. Always remember that creditors and lenders consider more than just your credit score when they're evaluating your applications. They also look at the amount of debt you have and your income. This is where the debt-to-income ratio comes into effect. You can also be denied credit for certain products. Despite having a great credit score, if you have a lot of debt, you don't make a lot of money for the credit limit that you're trying to achieve, you're not going to get approved for the credit that you're asking for. Even if you achieve the max amount of credit at one point in time, it doesn't mean you'll always have a perfect score. Your credit score changes often as the information you have provided on your credit report, it constantly changes. So it's common for credit scores to gain or lose points from one day to the next. Changes in your balance, credit limits, payment history, and accounts even change to the credit score algorithm. That can also affect your score. So what does it take to get a good credit score? Here are a few things that could help you. Number one, always pay your bills on time each month, even those that aren't listed on your credit report. Avoid having too much debt and opening too many accounts. And along those lines, don't put too many inquiries on your credit report, because the more inquiries that you have when you apply for credit, that also lowers your FICO score. So what I'm going to tell you is you keep your credit applications to a minimum, basically less than 7% of the credit limit. I'm going to tell you this, on October 12th, there was a press release. FICO gave details about a few habits of high achievers consumers with FICO scores had when they scored 700. Now these people, here's how they did it. They had an average of 7 accounts, open and close. An average of 4 accounts with balances. Most had balances below 8,500 on non-mortgage accounts. 95% have missed no payments on their credit reports, and they had less than 1% of their accounts were not past due. 1%. That is phenomenal. 1 in 100 have a collection on their account, and 1 in 9,000 have a bankruptcy or tax lien. Also, the average credit age is 11 years. The oldest amount was opened an average of 25 years ago. So, again, you pay your bills on time, you have minimum accounts open and closed, you have minimum balances, you don't have to have a lot of inquiries, and you also keep your credit to a minimum. Now, what do I mean by keeping my credit to a minimum? Well, usually at 11 years, it's basically credit is on your report for 7 years. And if you have any inquiries that could be challenged, there's a company out there called Lexington Law. I know there's freecreditreport.com. You have other ones out there. But let me tell you this also. You have commercials where they tell you you can get free credit reports. It's nonsense. You have to pay for those reports. But there is a link that you can go to. It's called the annualcreditreport.com. You go to that link. You're allowed one free credit report every year. No ifs, ands, or buts. And you should get one credit report. Now, another item of business that I want to tell you. You can have good credit scores. However, here's the trick too. You can have a good credit score of 700 with one bureau and have it 600 on another bureau, and you still can't get anything because your credit or your FICO score is not with one bureau, it's with 3 bureaus. And that's generally why some people can't get the credit that they need or that they are trying to finance for a business, a car, a house. Look at all 3 credit bureaus. That's Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. You want all of your scores on your credit report from the 3 bureaus to be above 720. Now, a perfect maximum score is great to aspire to, but it's okay to settle for an excellent high score. If your credit score needs help, spend some time reviewing your credit report and put a plan together to improve your credit. Now, again, Lexington Law, freecreditrepair.com, credit counseling. If you have any accounts that are in collections and they've been on your credit report for at least 7 years, get those debts off your credit report. You can do that. A lot of people don't know that. But most of all, try to keep your credit cards to a low balance, because that's basically why people don't get the credit. The debt-to-income ratio and the income. In other words, you want to make enough money to be able to afford what you're financing. That's why the debt-to-income ratio is very important. Also, again, make sure that you look at all 3 credit bureaus on your credit report, not just one. Because a 600 is basically a poor FICO score. So you can have a 600 and 2 700s, so you could have a 600, 850, and a 750 and still not get the credit that you are seeking because of the one FICO score on one of the credit reports from the bureau, whether it's Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax. And also, again, you are entitled to one free credit report a year under freeannualcreditreport.com. It's annualcreditreport.com. Again, that's annualreport.com. I said freeannualreport.com. You are entitled to one annual credit report a year. So it's annualcreditreport.com. Click on that site, review your credit report, and then the items that should not be on your credit report, make sure you challenge them. And keep your debt down. Because at the end of the day, you want to live the dream. and make that dream into a reality. You don't want to be chasing the dream. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember to be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed afternoon.